So in this Clojure video, that is Learn Clojure video series, we are going to see what is actually Clojure code, right? And Clojure is really powerful language, and reason why it's powerful is like it's based on it is a dialect of Lisp or list processing. So all Clojure programs are list. Okay, so like for this example, all I just need is my CLG or Clojure Ripple, right? So that's the thing, and just type in CLJ and you should have it, provided you have Clojure installed on your system. Then you can start doing stuff like this, like start writing simple Clojure programs, right? So that's the thing. So uh, a Clojure code is nothing but that is like open braces. I think they call it braces or parentheses. I'm not sure. Like what do you call this? Okay, I'll just call this parentheses. Okay, so I don't know what to call. Okay, so or round brackets. Okay, open round bracket, followed by a function name and then just arguments. That's all. That's all is Clojure program, right? And that's whenever you just put this thing, the Clojure usually what to say like uh, thinks that whatever comes first in this is a function, right? So now it tells an error because like it can't find a function called one. Okay, so that's why it just gives an error. Or like if it can find some function like plus 2 3 or something like that, then yeah, like it just executes it. But if you just want a list rather than a list that executes, okay, you need to put uh, a single quote over here. So now this will be considered as a list. Okay, so that's how it is, right? So this is how you tell a Clojure program to escape this and say that okay, the first element is not a function. So every Clojure program is nothing but a open round braces uh, followed by a function name and then arguments to a function. That's it, and this just returns something. So this is what a Clojure program is, and Clojure program is good at processing list. Okay, so what is a Clojure program? It is a list, and it is also good at processing lists. Okay, that's what gives it huge power. Okay, so that's why we also call it list processing. So that's the thing. So let's say like we have a program something like this one, like star 5, that is multiplication of 5, and then you have this addition of 1 2 3 and all those things, right? So uh, how this is being represented in Clojure? Okay, so first you just have this function, just so put the star over here, right? And what are the arguments over here, right? You've got 5, and another argument is nothing but a function, and that has some more arguments to it. Okay, so you can just think like, okay, wherever this blue node is, that is a function. So that's, this one is a function, this one is a big function comprising everything. That is function receiving arguments, that is big stuff, this full big stuff. Or let me just make my pointer bigger. Pointer, yeah, let me make this big. So you can consider this one as such a big thing like this one, but this one is only this much. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So what happens is, yeah, you can represent all Clojure programs like a tree, like this one, right? Function arguments, and so on and so forth. So that's how it is. So what happens is, okay, you just start from the bottom of the tree. Okay, so this plus gets this three arguments. So you just add 1 2 and 3. Okay, so that's the thing, and this becomes 6, and this becomes input to this one. So this becomes 6 and this becomes input to this one. So star 5 into 6 should be 30. Okay, this should actually be in green, but yeah, like I miscolored it. So that's the thing. So this is what a Clojure program is, and since Clojure is very good at list processing and the programs are also lists, this gives enormous power. And I don't know whether you would have realized it by now, or maybe you might realize it in future. But yeah, Lisp is highly powerful language, and very suitable to write huge programs and programs without much errors or confusion. Let me tell you about confusion over here, right? Over here, we know that okay, like this plus what to say, like kind of uh, we know that it should start from the bottom of the tree. That is the innermost braces gets executed. So that's the thing, right? So we just know like okay, this plus should get executed. So I just have another program over here, like uh okay, how to put it? Okay, yeah. So I just have another program over here. This is kind of a calculator, right? And I'll tell you where to get it, right? So that's the thing. And what you can do over here is like you can write a very similar program, okay? Pi star and then 1 plus 2 plus 3, okay? So you expect like, okay, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and then this into 5 is what to say 30. But what happens, you just see. This is another power of Clojure, I just feel, right? So this is how you represent in other languages, but this is a little bit confusing. So in order to avoid confusion in other languages, you need to say like, okay, like execute this 1, 2, 3 first, and then multiply with 5. Okay, but in Clojure, that's not the case. Like this is the syntax of the language. Okay, you're forced to say like, okay, which comes before what and all those things. So you just know that okay, this 1, 2, 3 should be added first before multiplying with 5. So there is no operator precedence or whatever thing that's needed for Clojure. Okay, so if you're reading other languages like Python or something like that, and if you're thinking, okay, those are all great languages, you need to remember operator precedence. Okay, that needs to be in your head, otherwise your program could go wrong, right? So as it did over here, right? But in Clojure, you don't need to remember that. So, all this stuff Clojure removes from your cognitive load, and this makes programming much more pleasurable with Clojure, as you know, this is what is going to happen, right? And there is almost nothing that's hidden, like or something like that. Okay, so and yeah, of course, there is a very uniformity of code, right? So unless object oriented language, the code is very, very uniform, and it is always like a function followed by arguments. That's it. So and there is almost nothing else in Clojure, right? So that's the thing. And so yeah, that's why I also feel like okay, if you're uh, a beginner, you should start learning with Clojure. But one problem you will have learning with Clojure is if you see some other languages, you won't even feel like learning. You will see like some other languages are so primitive compared to Clojure. Um, you won't even feel like learning it. So that's the only drawback you have. Like you are eating very excellent food, or you are living in a place where what to say, the air is pure or something like that, and then you move to a place where the food is not good or the air is impure, there's garbage or something like strewn everywhere, you won't feel like living over there, right? So that's the kind of experience you have if you learn Clojure and then go to some other language. So that's the thing. But if you're coming from some other language to Clojure, you'll feel like Clojure is god. Okay, so that's how it is. So that's it for this video. And yeah, like if you want to know about this thing like Kani, like it is a calculator that I wrote it in Clojure, and you can get it over here, u7.in/Kani, right? So that's the thing. And so yeah, um, this is a calculator program which I wrote it in Clojure so that like I can just have very easy command line calculator myself. So yeah, this is not part of learning Clojure, but yeah, if you want to get involved in a Clojure project, that might be useful for some people. You can contribute to this project. Okay, so that's how it is. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Until we meet in next video,